the volume, pump up the volume.
You say
Redeemer full of culture, y'all. Check this out.
Welcome to Ghetto Gallery.
A little bit different today, we're actually inside the gallery.
We are. We're going to have a look at the 2013 Stencil Art Prize. Stencil graffiti subculture has existed for the past 30 years, with the first stencil being found on the streets of New York City in the late 1960s. It's changed a lot over that period, with international artists like Banksy and Shepard Fairey creating political and satirical works that have really risen the popularity of the stencil technique. The Stencil Art Prize exists to reward local and international stencil artists. This year is the first time they have a world category as well as the Australian Stencil Art Prize. It began in 2009 and the finalists were exhibited at O'Reilly Gallery in Newtown. And then in 2011, it moved to Cockatoo Island to be a part of a huge international street art festival called the Outpost Project. It saw the finalists be exhibited alongside world-renowned street art figures. The Stencil Prize is now held at Chrissie Cotter Gallery in Camperdown the past 2 years. And the quality of submissions each year just keeps getting better and better. Back in 2010, Luke Cornish won the prize with his work Saul Williams, and it helped launch his career as he's now one of the best and most well-known stencil artists in Australia. He's the first artist to have a work nominated in the Archibald and Solomon Prizes entirely made of stencils. And just this year, the National Portrait Gallery in Canberra acquired one of his works. Cornish uses up to 85 hand-cut layers to produce his aerosol sprayed works. It creates a striking photographic resemblance, and this hyper-realist style is becoming more common with stencil artists as they aim to build up as many layers as possible in order to achieve a high definition, depth of field and details in their work. We're going to take you inside the gallery now and show you the finalist exhibition and the winners of this year's prize.
In the mix.
Here we have the world category winner done by David Sogov. First thing you'll notice is that it's off-center and the eye is drawn straight up. There's a washed out technique with the stencil, so it's almost like a mixed media. But as you're looking at it, it makes you feel like it's raining, but there's actually nothing really stating that it is. The washed out color kind of makes it feel that way, but if you look up, is it raining? Or is this just like a small fade out as you're collapsing to the ground? That's what's really fascinating about the way he's done the buildings and how it looks like cages. And if you take a look, it's so detailed, it's amazing to look at. These lines have you draw up into the sky.
Here we have the winner of the Australian category, a stencil called Past Futures by Ralph Kempkin. He's actually been exhibiting in the Stencil Art Prize ever since its inception, and I think he's a very worthy winner this year. One of the things you'll notice straight away is the technique. It's quite different. It doesn't involve any aerosol paint. The way that he's built up this stencil is 2 layers of hand-cut paper, which he would have painstakingly done with a surgical knife. And it is really quite detailed, perhaps more than what first appears. Straight away you see the central focus piece is this portrait. But he creates an optical illusion because if you move on either side or walk further away, You'll notice there's what looks to be an old family portrait in the background there. It's a really interesting and eerie way to create an image. It looks into memory and it really challenges the definition and style of stencil art.
This next work right here is done by Lusop. It's entitled Digital Identity. Straight up, who does a portrait of a face you can't see? If you take a closer look, you'll notice that there is a crazy amount of detail in this shirt. It's showing real skill. And then we move up, we've got pixels. The title of the work, Digital Identity, makes me think straight away of Facebook and Instagram and how we portray ourselves to the outside world with technology. And at the same time, you take a look, there's a crazy amount of detail, but showing realism as opposed to digital. It also brings up stuff about stencil art itself that's usually done by graffiti artists who are hiding their identities, yet they want to be seen and their work wants to be expressed. This says so much the more you take a look at it. It makes me think more about myself and how I portray myself digitally as well. This is the 5th year running for the Stencil Art Prize.
It's now open internationally, so no matter where you are worldwide, you can enter.
Yeah, just go to the website, stencilartprize.com. You'll get all the information there.
Thanks for joining us on the episode, and we'll see you again in a fortnight.